This is Holliday Park, and Big Boy is the most famous locomotive in Cheyenne, and it draws thousands and thousands of visitors a year. In fact, so much so that even the coach parties, when they come from Denver, they go to the Rocky Mountains, then they come to Cheyenne, they stay in Cheyenne, they visit Big Boy, then they go off to Yellowstone. So it's an incredibly important feature of Cheyenne. And fortunately, the city realized that, and last year they spent the $360,000 on it to make it look nice. I'm Mike Pannell, and I worked for Wasatch Railroad Contractors, and last year we restored Big Boy 4004 behind me, and it took 6 months to restore. We abated all the asbestos, put a new boiler jacket on it, and sandblasted and repainted the entire locomotive. And the weather was pretty bad. It was a battle against the weather and everything else, because it had to have a tent enclosure put over it for the abatement, and it was the first asbestos abatement that we'd done as a company. So it was quite a learning curve. But as you see, the results are spectacular, really good. We're pretty pleased. It was moved into the park in 1964. It was stored in Laramie for a couple of years before it was donated to the city. And there used to be a Y right behind me, and it was brought in over that Y, and then they laid track in front of it, moving it into position where it is right now. The location it's in used to be a lake bed, and as they started moving the locomotive in, it started sinking and tipping over, and they had to bring several huge cat bulldozers in to try and keep the locomotive upright whilst they moved it into place. So here it sits. It's donated a few parts to 4014, so some of this locomotive is currently touring in Arizona, which is nice, and the rest is here, so there are some parts of 4014 on here as well. So the restoration process began in February of 2018 with the scaffolding going up around the locomotive to completely enclose it. We had to enclose it in 2 layers of poly. When you do an asbestos abatement, you have to have a clean out room and you have to have a shower room. So we brought my 1913 caboose up here and put that in front of Big Boy, and we used that as our office and our shower room and everything else. So that was nice too. The abatement process took about 6 weeks. It involved taking the boiler jacket off in stages and removing the asbestos. There was 8,000 pounds of asbestos inside it. And we removed that, we had to double bag it, and then take it down to Colorado. We gave it to Colorado, so some of Big Boy is in Colorado as well, which is a great feeling. And then we had to put a brand new skeleton around the boiler to hold the jacket in place, the new jacket. That was a gradual welding process, and we took off certain parts that weren't going to be usable, that weren't visible. And we stored those in case they're needed for other locomotives in the future. And then the entire locomotive was sandblasted, primed and repainted. So the whole process took about 6 months. The firebox and the combustion chamber on Big Boy are a total about 36 feet long, and you can actually climb in the firebox and stand up in the firebox. It's like a huge room, it's so big, and just walk that 36 feet standing up in there. It's an amazing experience, and one that I was glad I did. And at one time people had obviously actually been living in there when there was no fence, because we found an old newspaper in there with an article about the Falklands War, which was interesting too. So we kept all of that naturally. But most of the fire bricks are still in the firebox as well. We have a few examples ourselves that we took out, but most of the grate and the firebox is still in there. A lot of parts from 4004 were used on Challenger 3985 over the years, so it's missing a lot of cab fittings and a lot of other parts that they could actually use to get that locomotive running. So it's been a useful locomotive in its own right to allow others to run. So the Big Boy locomotives were intensively used in service. They were expected to be operational 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 12 months of the year. And because of that, each locomotive has many parts from other locomotives, because when one of these came into the shop for perhaps a new tyre on the wheels or something like that, they would have to use whatever was available in the shop to replace the one that came off this locomotive. So whilst we have 4004 here, it has parts from 17 and 24 and 8 and numerous other big boys. So for instance, this wheel has the Alco number on it for the axle and the date the axle was produced, but then it has 4017 on there as being the original wheel from 4017. So constantly parts were being replaced and refurbished and sent to Cheyenne to go on the next big boy that needed those parts. So during the restoration process, it became apparent that 4004 had quite a serious accident at some point in its life. We don't know any of the details, but it became obvious to us from the welds on here and here and here, and the fact that this pilot beam is pushed further back on this side than it is on the other side, and the damage behind me, that something hit it on this side, or it hit something on this side and pushed everything further back. And rather than try and straighten everything, they just left it as it was and adjusted this side to be usable again. So again, unless some photos come to light or some records, we may find out what it was, but at some point it did have quite a serious impact. So in the cab here, we basically, when we removed the asbestos, we took all of the backhead sheeting off. You can see a piece up there still. When the asbestos was applied in here, it was applied as a paste, and basically they would mix it by hand and they would actually press it in behind all of these pipes, because you couldn't cut and fit blocks of asbestos in here. It had to be put on basically like a cement or a putty. So behind all these pipes it was just completely packed in, and we had to just try and remove it with whatever tools we could to get the asbestos out from behind here and clean this area up. So you can see things in here, there's a lot of parts in here that are missing. A lot of them are on 3985, including the brake stand is missing. There's a lot of other gauges obviously that are entirely missing that are on other locomotives as well, which is a good thing because it allows them to run. So we're hoping to add things onto here, fake gauges and fake parts, to make it look more complete so that people can see it. The city normally have this locomotive completely closed off and people haven't been allowed in the cab for many years, but we're trying to make it more accessible to the public so that they can actually see what these were like when they were in service. So we hope to have a more complete cab as time permits, and we find more pieces and make more pieces to go in here. Originally there were 4 seats, the engineer this side, fireman that side, and then 2 seats behind them as well for other crew members. It has a large hole cut in the firebox where some stays were removed, so that's a big problem. It's missing the water pumps, and it's missing I believe the injectors, the whistle, and various other parts. The brake reservoirs are missing, some of the brake shoes are missing, so it's missing quite a lot. Some parts are critical and some are not so critical, and anything could be replaced, but it's a matter of cost. Plus the fact that it's been in a flood before, up to the top of the fence, so that would also be not really a huge issue because everything would have to be dismantled anyway, but it has some corrosion issues which some of the other locomotives wouldn't have had, which is one of the reasons why they chose 4014, because of the climate in California as opposed to this one. Getting this one out of the park would have been incredibly difficult, almost impossible, plus the fact the city love it here, and we should have one here on static display anyway.